We went from these places, these rooms, to Saskatoon, North Alfred, Prince Albert. These are women's shelters, interval houses. My mom took us from an environment that wasn't so healthy for us. And she had no place to go with us, so we went to these women's shelters, having no home, bounced around them, until finally someone stepped in. It was my Kokum. My grandmother, in her language, she was the one who took us in. She was the one who said, "Come and live with me." So we packed up all our belongings again, and off we went to Sweetgrass First Nation, right by the Battlefords. And we moved into her living room, and she had a couch in the back. My mom slept on the couch, the rest of us on the floor, and then every day we put our bedding away, and then that was our play area. It was during this time, my friends, that the foundation of what I share with people now was from living with my Kokum. The foundation of our teachings, our way of doing things, working together, helping one another, trying to get along with each other. In her living room was my playground, but also she was my teacher, and she did it with through how she would treat one another. One of the things she would emphasize, and today we're talking about partnerships, forging partnerships, working together. One of her foundational teachings that was passed from my chapans to her was the importance of trying to get along with each other. Miuitsituin, working well together, helping one another, regardless of how we look, where we come from, our status in the classes and so on. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, we're all human beings. She would emphasize that again and again, because one day I started to get bullied a lot at school. I was a very tiny kid. One day she comes to me and she talks about trying to get along, try to let it go, don't get into fights. Finally, I got really stubborn. And I went to my Kokum, I said, "How come I can't get into fights? These people are bugging me. I got to stand up for myself, And she's like, try to resolve it, try to stay away, try not to get into that." Finally, I snapped and said, "Kokum, why?" And she told me, she said, has anyone ever received a verbal whooping before? Okay, I'm being kind with how I'm going to say this. She told me, she said, that person that's hurting you, that's causing you grief, that's causing you whatever type of harm, you don't know their story, she said. You have no idea what their upbringing is like if they even have a parent at home. You have no idea who's raising them, who's teaching them, if anyone's even there to guide them. You have no idea. If you go fight that person, you go get in an argument, you create a conflict and you think you win, there's no such thing as winning an argument. She said, what if that's that last person's day on earth that they're meant to be here? Something happens to them that night. You come back to school. How are you going to feel? And I'm like, man, never thought of it that way. Time. We're all on limited time. We only have so many mornings, so many nights, so many days to be here. How are we going to make use of our time together? What is the legacy we are going to plant? What are those roots going to be told? What are they going to blossom into? It starts with how we treat each other, how we help each other, how we prepare each other. From grade 1 to grade 2, I was sleeping in her living room, and she would be demonstrating this, taking us to ceremonies, being there as a kid. And another thing I learned at these ceremonies was the concept of respect, manatsuin, manatsituin, respect for one another. As a kid, I wasn't allowed to be out there during the ceremonies when elders were praying. I wasn't allowed to speak. I wasn't even allowed to stare at them. That's where the concept of eye contact comes from our ceremonies. We're not supposed to stare at the people who are praying, the ones who are holding the pipe, the ones who are leading our ceremony. We come into the mainstream and it gets misinterpreted as not being respectful, when in fact we show respect by bowing and giving our ears to people. So you work with us, you may have seen that commonality amongst our people. We show respect differently. We always greet with handshakes. So that's where the time where you have to take time to understand each other. Not assume just because, I have one native friend over here and this is what he says, doesn't apply to everyone. Their upbringing could be different. So you take time to work with who's in front of you, around you, take time to understand each other's stories, because that's where partnerships and community is built. Helping, working together. By the time I was in grade 3, though, however, my mom was able to get a little two-bedroom house not far from my Kokum's house. During this time, my mom used to make me give tobacco. Just like our elder was received tobacco, I want to give a shout out to Linda also doing the same thing for me, giving me tobacco to come and speak to you. My mom used to make me do this to my uncle. And he was a cultural leader in our community, a pipe carrier, a Sundance maker. He was very respected. And I used to go and sit there and ask him questions. And one of the teachings he shared with me, and I want to share with you, was the concept of mindset. To always be nurturing your mind in a positive way. Watch who you listen to, watch what you listen to now. Now we're living in this digital age of scrolling. All we're seeing is people's feeds and what they're putting online. We're living the life through other people's lenses now. It's different. What are we doing to nurture our mind? He would often say, take control of your mind because you don't want other people doing that for you. Take control of it.